everyone. Welcome to Talk 10 with Mahen. We continue our interesting conversation with Shrimathi Vasugi Devar Singh. Vasugi, your book began way back as a master's dissertation.
When I looked for a topic in terms of the masters, at that point I realized that we have not documented dance in this country. Many authors have written about the indentured laborers and their struggles and their sacrifices from a historical point of view. Nobody had touched on any of the art forms, especially the performing arts. So I decided to do it as a research program. 2000 it was, I had completed, it took me 3 years and I had completed it. And it was quite exciting. I was invited to Johannesburg's dance, that's the setting up of South African Indian Dance Alliance there. I talked, I would always talk wherever I went on the history and journey of particularly Bharatanatyam, but dance in general in South Africa, to young dancers. And I did give the talk there, and a young man, he's a dance teacher, stood up and said, "Akka, where do we find this information?" And I got a little bit stumped because I thought, oh my God, I did that dissertation years ago. It must be lying in some of the university libraries. And most of these libraries have been destroyed by now. So where are they going to find this information? So when I came home, that question nagged me for a while. And then I decided I will contact my lecturers, I will contact my supervisor, Dr. Kribben, now Professor Kribben Pillay, and ask him if it's possible to turn that research into a book. I took the academic literature that was in the dissertation, and I now decided to turn it around to make it approachable reading for anybody and everybody. I met a few people, discussed it, and then 1 or 2 people who were really chuffed with the idea told me, why don't you turn this into a coffee table book? Because you're thinking of now adding so much of visual material. And so I said, okay, this is what we'll do. I spent the entire dance community in South Africa, and I had 18 years to bring it up to speed to 2018. And for those 18 years, I included all the new dance genres that started existing or started being practiced in our country. And after 1.5 years, the book was ready, it went for print, and it got launched.
It is a book that should be in every South African library. I want to thank you for that contribution to the community and for also historically documenting the whole journey of Bharatanatyam from the mother country to South Africa. Vasugi, tell us about this excellent dance conference that was held in the year 2000.
Yes, Mahen. That's the conference we call Nritya Sammelan. So what I did is I approached my best friend and colleague, Smith Amaraj, who runs the Nateshwar Dance Company. And you know, Nateshwar Dance Company is predominantly Kathak. And I was the artistic director of KZN Dance Theatre. So we were predominantly South Indian Bharatanatyam. So the 2 schools of thought came together and we actually arranged this conference. We decided to also include overseas international delegates so that we can widen our scope of knowledge and understanding. It was a beautiful conference over 3 days, and we had all the dance personalities to come forward offer their discussions, their papers, their areas of expertise. And I think it really created a lot of hype.
Who were some of the partners that assisted you?
Well, the Playhouse, of course, because they are the best partners you could have. You got their venue, they housed it for us and everything. Then we had the Indian consulate at that time who was here, Radio Lotus, who was our media partner, and the university, the Technicon, Natal Technicon, joined us for especially the production and the publication of papers. And the event was such a success due to so many people coming forward and assisting us.
Was it the very first dance conference ever held?
Yeah, it was the first and only dance conference in South Africa. Jay Patta produced a paper, Jay Sparimupan, Surya, because they did the intercultural work at that time. And of course, from India, we had Anita Ratnam, we had Pratap Power.
Vasugi, there is a grand event, online event, planned for the 16th of November this year. Can you tell us what that is all about?
Yes, Mahen, we have this very exciting year. We are commemorating the arrival of our forefathers. It's 160 years. And we are so excited because had it not been for our forefathers, I don't think we would, one, have the life we have now, two, have the rich heritage that we're so proud of, and we really owe them a great gratitude. So the first part on the 16th is going to be a virtual performance tracing the history over the 160 years of dance. Very, very quickly, we're doing snippets of the changing styles, the various genres, and showcasing this is what we did in South Africa, and this is how we've come across the other side, having the dance forms existing. Then we've decided to open it up to the Indian diaspora, and we're inviting dance personnel from those countries like Fiji, Suriname, Trinidad, and the works, who share a similar history, yet we don't know about them and they don't know about us. So we're having a kind of conference in conversation, and we will have delegates. All this is done virtually, of course. And they will talk about the status of dance in their countries, a little bit about their own history and their own challenges, and maybe do a comparative study with our history and our challenges. And it's going to be over one weekend on Zoom. And I think we're going to be quite excited to meet them and share with them.
Perhaps you want to conclude with something from the book?
I just want to read a small excerpt from the section on indentured laborers. We in South Africa have a proud record of preserving and enhancing Indian culture. In this respect, we salute our forebears who had tremendous foresight and against tremendous odds provided us with the infrastructure on which our present-day culture stands. To me, the gratifying feature of the Indian community is that, despite the strong Western influence to which the community is of necessity exposed, there is still a very keen desire among all sections of the Indian community to preserve their rich cultural heritage, which our forebears brought to this country.
Vasugi, what are your thoughts, or what is your wish for the future of Bharatanatyam in South Africa?
As long as we're true to the art form, that for me is the most important thing. If artists are going to perform and study and do whatever they have to, they've got to equip themselves sufficiently in the area. But if you chose whatever it is and you want to work, I know we have a lot of collaborations going on, please let it be of a high standard, of a standard that you respect your art form for. And remember, all art forms have a divine being in terms of whom there's a sense of divinity in it. And we mustn't forget that. And that's what I'd like young people to remember.
Vasugi, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.